Hello students, myself is Parminder Singh from Prab Kripa classes. Our today's topic is probability part 2. After going through this course, the students will understand that probability is a fundamental concept in mathematics and statistics. Probability means the likelihood of an event occurring or the possibility of an outcome to occur. Probability is expressed as a number between 0 and 1. If the probability of an event is 0, it means that the event is impossible to occur. If the probability of an event is 1, it means that the event is sure to happen. And if the probability lies between 0 and 1, it reflects the degree of likelihood of the occurring of an event. Probability axiom, which is shown here, means that the probability cannot be less than 0 and cannot be more than 1. Probability is may be equal to 0 or may be equal to 1, or the range of probability may be from 0 to 1, both points inclusive. The students will also understand that the sum of two complementary events is equal to 1, that is the probability of occurrence of an event, and the probability of not occurrence of the event is equal to 1. The formula for calculation of probability of an event is equal to number of favorable outcomes divided by total number of possible outcomes, whether it is predicting weather conditions, assessing the chances of winning a game, or making informed decisions. Probability is an essential tool that helps us in making rational decisions in situations where outcomes are uncertain or unpredictable. Now the question before us is, a bag contains lemon flavored candies only. Melanie takes out one candy without looking into the bag. What is the probability that she takes out an orange flavored candy? Before proceeding further, we will understand this question with the help of an example. Suppose there are 4 pieces before us which are of black color. We put these 4 pieces in a jar. Now, what is the chance that if I pick any of these objects, it will be of red color? The chances are 0. Probability of getting a red color object is 0 because we are having only black color objects. So the probability of getting red colored objects is 0 because every time we take out an object, it will be of black color. So the probability of getting black colored object is 1, whereas the probability of getting red colored object is 0. In the same way, suppose if we go to bazaar and purchase 4 apples and put it in a bag, we come to home, then what is the probability that we will get out an orange from our bag when we have not purchased and not placed it in our bag? The probability of getting an orange is 0 because all the fruits which have been purchased are only apples. There are only 4 apples, and every time we pick some fruit from our bag, the same will be apple only. So the probability of getting apple is 1 and the probability of getting an orange is 0 because we have not placed any orange in our bag. In the same way, you will observe that Melanie is having only lemon flavored candies in his bag. So every time she will put her hands into the bag to pick out a candy, it will be lemon candy only. And as she has not placed any orange flavored candy in his bag, so the probability of getting an orange candy is 0. Now how to write it? Give how to write our answer? We will give here. Now here we will suppose, let number of candies, we suppose that the number of candies are 100. Now here in this question, we have to find out the probability that Melanie takes out an orange flavored candy. So here we will write number of orange flavored candies. Whether there is anyone in this question? No. There is no orange flavored candy. So number is 0. So you know that the probability of an event is equal to number of favorable outcomes divided by total number of possible outcomes. So here we will use this formula to arrive at the probability of taking out an orange candy. So here we will write number of orange flavored candies divided by total number of candies. We can also say that this is the number of favorable outcomes, and this is the total number of possible outcomes. So here number of orange flavored candies are 0, whereas the total number of candies which we have assumed are 100. So the probability of taking out an orange candy is 0. This is the answer of our first question. We can also say that if we do not want to write it in lengthy way, that the probability, let us assume the number of candies are 100, out of which number of orange candies are 0. We can also write that answer in this way, that the bag contains only lemon flavored candies. There are no orange flavored candies in the bag. So Melanie will take out an orange candy from the bag is an impossible event. as there are only lemon flavored candies and there are no orange flavored candies in the bag, so Melanie will take out only lemon flavored candies and the Melanie will not take out any orange flavored candy. So the probability of getting an orange flavored candy is 0. Now the next part of the question, what is the probability she takes out a lemon flavored candy? We had assumed that let the total number of candies, we had assumed that these are 100. Out of this number of lemon flavored candies, it is given in the question that the bag contains lemon flavored candies only. So all the candies which are there in the bag are of lemon flavor. So what is the probability of taking out a lemon candy is equal to, here we will use the number of lemon flavored candies or the number of favorable outcomes. Here we will write the total number of all possible outcomes, that is this one, or the total number of candies. Here the probability of taking out a lemon candy is 1. This is the answer of second part of the question. We can also write this question, write this answer in this way, that bag contains only lemon flavored candies. So Melanie will take out a lemon flavored candy from the bag is a sure event, because if she puts his hands in the bag to pick out a candy, she will only pick out lemon flavored candy. So the probability of taking out a lemon flavor candy is 1. You know that when the event is sure to happen, the probability is 1, and when the event is impossible to happen, the probability is 0. So this is the answer of second part. We hope you might have understood the concept of probability in a very simple manner. Now the question before us is, it is given that in a group of 3 students, the probability of 2 students not having the same birthday is 0.992. What is the probability that the students have the same birthday? Now what is given? We will write it. Probability of 2 students not having same birthday. It is given. We assume that we write it as P not E, probability of not occurrence of the event. It is 0.992. 992. Now what we are to find out? We are to find out probability of two students having the same birthday. We are to calculate this P, probability of the occurrence of the event. We are to find out this. This is question mark. Now here we use the basic formula of probability. To solve the problem. We know that the sum of two complementary events is equal to 1. What is that? Probability of the occurrence of the event and the probability of not occurrence of the event is equal to 1. We can also say that the probability of occurrence of the event is equal to 1 minus probability of not occurrence of the event. Here we will fill the values. Probability of not occurrence of the event is given 0.992. So here it will come as 0.008. This is the probability of the two students having the same birthday. This is the answer before you. Now the question before us is, a bag contains 3 red balls and 5 black balls. A ball is drawn at random from the bag. What is the probability that the ball drawn is red? So here we will write the answer. Number of red balls, 3. Number of black balls, it is 5. Now what is the total number of balls or outcomes? It is 8. We have used the word outcomes. It means that if we put all the balls in the bag, how many times we can pick up a ball? That is the outcome. How many times we will be able to pick up a ball? Only 8 times, because there are only 8 balls in the bag. Now what we are to find out? We are here to find out the probability that the ball drawn is red. So here, what is the number of red balls? As we are to find out the probability of red balls, so number of red balls means favorable outcomes. Favorable outcomes is equal to 3, because we are to find out how many times there is the probability of getting out the red ball. That is the favorable outcome should be red balls. So here we have written number of red balls oblique favorable outcomes. So what is the probability of getting a red ball is equal to P E is equal to, what is the formula for calculation of probability of an event is number of favorable outcomes divided by total number of possible outcomes. Here on the upper side we will write the number of red balls, which are 3. The total number of possible outcomes means the total number of balls which are there in the bag, it is 8. So the probability of getting a red ball is 3 oblique 8. This is the answer. Now the next part. What is the probability that the ball drawn is not red? Not red. So here we will calculate the probability of getting not the red ball. In other words, we can say that it means probability of not E, not getting of the event, not occurrence of the event. Here we will use it here. We have to find out the same. So we know that the sum of two complementary events is equal to 1. That is, in other words, we can say that probability of occurrence of the event and the probability of not occurrence of the event is equal to 1. Here we have to find out probability of not occurrence of the event, that is the probability of not getting the red ball. Here 1 minus probability of occurrence of the event. In the previous answer we had found out that the probability of occurrence of the event is 3 over 8. So here it will come as 5 over 8. So this is the answer to second part of the question, not red. So now we can also solve this question in another way. How? Here we will write that total number of balls oblique outcomes is equal to 8. Now the number of black balls which are there, these are 5. So now we have to find out the probability of not getting red ball. It means that if we are saying that we will not get red ball, it in other words we means that we are talking about the probability of getting the black ball. Probability of getting a black ball. Now how we can calculate the probability of getting a black ball? Here we will write the number of black balls on the upper side, and on the lower side we will write the total number of balls. So this is the answer before you. Now the question before us is, a box contains 5 red marbles, 8 white marbles and 4 green marbles. One marble is taken out of the box at random. What is the probability that the marble taken out will be red. So here, what is the given? Total number of marbles. Here 5 red marbles, 8 white marbles, 4 green marbles. 13 plus 4, 17. So the total number of marbles are 17. Here, to find out the probability, we will use the formula probability of occurrence of the event is equal to number of favorable outcomes divided by total number of possible or total number of outcomes. So now we will first deal with the probability of getting the red marble. It will be equal to the number of favorable outcomes. Number of favorable outcomes means the number of red marbles. It will be divided by total number of outcomes. Total number of outcomes means total number of marbles. So the number of red marbles are 5. What is the total number? This is the answer of first part. The probability of getting a red marble is 5 over 17. So the next part of the question is the probability of getting a white marble. Number of white marbles oblique favorable outcomes is equal to 8. Probability of taking out a white marble is equal to number of white marbles, it is 8. It will be divided by the total number of marbles. Total number of marbles we have already calculated 5 plus 8 plus 4, it is 17. So this is the second part of the question which we have done. So now we have to solve the third part, that the probability that the marble taken out will be not green. In other words, we can say that the probability we have to count pertains to that the marble taken out will be either red or either white, but it will not be green. So the probability of marble taken out will be not green. We have to calculate this. In other words, we have to calculate the probability of getting red marble plus the probability of getting white marble. We have to sum up the both, probability of getting red marble or probability of getting white marble. We have already calculated the probability of getting red marble is 5 over 17 and the probability of getting white marble is 8 over 17. So this will come out as 13 over 17. This is the answer. Because we want that now we pick up the marble and it should not be green. Because we have only three types of marbles, green, white and red. We want that the marble should not be green. In other words, it will be either white or either red. So we have to sum up the probability of red and white marble. We can also calculate this question in another way. How? Here we will calculate the probability of taking out green marble. How we will calculate? Here we will place on the upper side the number of green marbles, that is the number of favorable outcomes. It will be divided by the total number of outcomes. Total number of outcomes means the total number of marbles. This is 17. So we have calculated the probability of taking out green marble, but we have to calculate the probability of taking out marble will not be green. We know that the sum of two complementary events is equal to 1. In other words, we can say that probability of occurrence of the event and the probability of not occurrence of the event is equal to 1. Here we have to find out the probability of not occurrence of the event or the probability of the marble not being green. So it will be 1 minus probability of the occurrence of the event. So what is the probability of occurrence of the event? It is 4 over 7. So when we will subtract 4 over 17 from 1, it will be 13 over 17. This is the answer. Before you can take out any of the methods. Either you can sum up the probability of red and white marbles to calculate the probability of not getting green, or you can calculate the probability of getting green, and from after that we can reduce it from subtract it from 1 and you will find the answer. Now the question before us is, a piggy bank contains 100 50 paisa coins, 50 1 rupee coins, 20 2 rupees coins and 10 5 rupee coins. If it is equally likely that one of the coins will fall out when the piggy bank is turned upside down, what is the probability that the coin will be a 50 paisa coin? What is given in this question? It is given that there is a piggy bank and there are coins of different denominations placed in it, and if we place it downward in the downward condition, there is very likely chance that one of the coins will come out of the piggy bank, and we are now to calculate the probability of that. If we turn down the piggy bank in the downward position, what is the probability that the coin which will come out of the piggy bank will be a 50 paisa coin? So now first of all we will write total number of coins in the piggy bank. What are those? 100 plus 50 plus 20 plus 10. So these are 180. So the total number of possible outcomes is 180. That is, if one coin comes out of the piggy bank once, then there will be 180 times that the coins will come out of the same when the piggy bank is placed in the downward position. So now what we are to calculate? We are to calculate the probability that the coin will be probability of getting a 50 paisa coin. We are to calculate this. So now how we can calculate the probability of getting a 50 paisa coins? Here on the upper hand we will place the number of 50 paisa coins. Here we will place total number of coins. In other words, we can say that here we will place the number of favorable outcomes. Favorable outcomes means we are to calculate the probability of 50 paisa coins. So here we will place the number of 50 paisa coins, and on the lower side we will write the total number of possible outcomes. So here what is the number of 50 paisa coins? There are 100 50 paisa coins. So what is the total number of coins or the total number of possible outcomes? This is 180. 0 cut 0, it comes 10 over 18. We can also divide both the sides by 5, 2. Here it will become 5 over 9. So we have been able to calculate the probability of getting a 50 paisa coin. This is the answer of the first part. Now the second part. The second part says that what is the probability that the coin will not be a 5 rupee 5 coin. In other words, we want that when the piggy bank is turned downside, it should not be the 5 coin, but it can be any other coin, that is the 50 paisa coin, 1 rupee coin, or rupee 2 coin. So here we will calculate the total number of coins other than rupee 5 coin, rupees 5 coin. What is the total number of coins other than 5? Other than 5 are 150 paisa coins, 51 rupee coin, and 22 rupee coin. So all the coins other than rupee 5 are 170. So the probability of that the coin will not be rupee 5 coin is equal to, rupee is also written as this symbol. So here we will write the number of all other coins except 5, or we will write it as number of favorable outcomes divided by total number of possible outcomes. In other words, here we will write the total number of coins other than rupee 5. It is 170. Here we will write the total number of possible outcomes, means all the coins including rupee 5. We have already calculated that the total coins are 100 plus 50 plus 20 plus 10. the total coins are 180. So we will divide the same. So this is the probability that the coin will not be rupee 5 coin, 17 over 18. This is the answer before you. Now the question before us is, Gopi buys a fish from a shop for his aquarium. The shopkeeper takes out one fish at random from a tank containing 5 male fish and 8 female fish. What is the probability that the fish taken out is a male fish? So now what is given here? Total number of fish. Total number of fish is equal to number of male fish plus number of female fish. So the total number of male fish given in the question are 5. Number of female fish are 8. So the total number of fish as given in the question are 13. So now we are to calculate the probability that the fish taken out is a male fish. So now the number of male fish is equal to 5. This is given in the question. Now we are to calculate the probability fish taken out is a male fish. So here we will write number of favorable outcomes divided by total number of possible outcomes, or we can say that on the upper hand we will write the number of male fish, or we can say that here we will write the total number of fish. So male fish are 5. The total number of fish or the total number of outcomes, possible outcomes are 13. So this is the probability that the fish taken out is the male fish is 5 over 13. This is the answer. Next part. Now the question before us is, a game of chance consists of spinning an arrow which comes to rest pointing out at one of the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And these are equally likely outcomes. What is the probability that it will point out at A? So these are the numbers which have been given to us 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So when we rotate it 8 times, there is a possibility that we will get the arrow pointing out at A only one time. So now we will calculate the probability arrow pointing at 8. So here we will write number of favorable outcomes divided by total number of possible outcomes. So here in the first part of the question 8 appears only once. That is, when we rotate the arrow or spin an arrow 8 times, there is the possibility that we will get 8 only one time. So we here give 1 on the upper hand, and the total number of possible outcomes, that means that we have to rotate it 8 times. These are the all possible outcomes. So this is the answer for the first part. Next is, what is the probability that the arrow will point out at an odd number? First of all, it is necessary for us to know what is the meaning of odd number. Here we have been given the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Odd numbers that can be outcome from this given question are 1, 3, 5 and 7. So these are 4 in total. Odd numbers that can be outcome are 1, 3, 5 and 7. So the number of odd numbers or number of favorable outcomes, so far as the second part of the question is concerned, these are 4. Odd numbers are 4 because these are 1, this is second, this is third, this is fourth. So now we have to calculate the probability arrow pointing an odd number. So here on the upper hand, we will write the number of favorable outcomes. This is the 4. So the total number of outcomes are 1, 2, 8, 8. So the probability of arrow pointing an odd number is 1 over 2. Next part. What is the probability that it will point at a number greater than 2? So again we write the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What is the question? That it will point out a number greater than 2. That is, the probability of this part is to be calculated, that the arrow will point out at either 3, 4, 5 or 6 or 7 or 8. So the numbers greater than 2 is equal to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the number of numbers, total numbers greater than 2 or number of numbers greater than 2, these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or we can count here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we are here to calculate the probability arrow pointing at a number greater than 2 is equal to, here we will write the number of favorable outcomes. The number of favorable outcomes are here this 6. What is the total number of outcomes, possible outcomes? These are all 6 over 8. We will divide both sides by 2. This is the answer of probability of the arrow pointing at a number greater than 2. So now next, what is the probability that the arrow will point out at a number less than 9? What is given? these numbers are given to us. What we are to calculate? Number less than 9. So we write here numbers less than 9. What are the numbers which are less than 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. That is all the numbers which are given here are less than. So the number of numbers less than 9 is all the numbers, that is the 8. So probability arrow pointing at a number less than 9 is equal to number of favorable outcomes 8, number of all possible outcomes, that is the total number, this is also 8, numbers less than 9, this is also 8, both the items are 8. So our probability comes as 1. This is the answer, because all the numbers have to be taken into consideration, because all the numbers are less than 9. We hope you might have understood this question. Now the question before us is, a dice is thrown once. Find the probability of getting a prime number. This is the dice before you, and when you throw it, it is quite likely that you may get any of these numbers, because there are 6 numbers ranging from 1 to 6 on the dice, and any of its numbers can appear. So here we will write the outcomes that can occur on throwing a dice are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So what is the total? These are the 6 outcomes. So the total number of possible outcomes are 6. Now here we are to calculate the probability of getting a prime number. So now first of all we should understand what is the meaning of prime number. Prime number is a number which is greater than 1 and divisible by only itself and 1. Here we see what is the prime number. Any number which is greater than 1, that is we are to see here, but here again it is a condition which is divisible only by itself and 1. Here 2 is not 2 is divisible by itself and 1. 3 is divisible by itself and 1. But 4 is divisible by 2 also and 4 and 1. Here 3 points come. But we have to take into consideration only that figure which is divisible by only its own figure and by 1. So 4 will not be taken into consideration, 2 will be taken into consideration, 3. Next comes 5. 5 is divisible by 5 and 1. Okay. 6. 6 is divisible by 3. It is divisible by 2. It is divisible by 1. So it will not be taken into consideration. So the prime number are 2, 3 and 5. So the number of prime numbers, what is the total of these prime numbers, or what is the, this is the first, this is second, this is 3. Number of prime numbers are given in this point are, number of prime numbers are 3. So probability of getting a prime number is equal to number of favorable outcomes divided by total number of outcomes, or we can also say that the number of prime numbers will be placed on the upper side, and the total number of outcomes means the total number of numbers which are on the dice, this is 3/6. So the probability of getting a prime number is 1/2. This is the answer of the first part of the question. Now the next is number lying between 2 and 6. These are the numbers which are there on the dice. So here the probability is to find any number lying between 2 and 6. So the numbers lying between 2 and 6 are this. We have to find the probability of this point. So we will write numbers lying between 2 and 6. These are 3, 4, 5. So the number of numbers lying between 2 and 6 are 3 in number. So now what we have to count? Probability of getting a number lying between 2 and 6. So here we will write the number of favorable outcomes. Here the number of favorable outcomes comes 3, or the numbers which are lying between 2 and 6, 3. It will be divided by total number of outcomes. Total number of outcomes are this. So the probability of getting a number lying between 2 and 6 is 1/2. This is the answer of the second part. Now the question before us is probability of getting an odd number. These are the numbers which are on the dice. So what are the odd numbers? The odd numbers are 1, 3 and 5. So here the total outcomes 6. Number of odd numbers are 1, 3 and 5. That is, these are 3. So the probability of getting an odd number is equal to number of odd numbers or the number of favorable outcomes divided by total outcomes or the total numbers. So here we will write 3, total outcomes are 6, it becomes 1/2. So hope you might have understood the question of probability. Thanks for watching. If you like our course, please spare some time to give a star rating to our course.